to round 5 of Clark St James GT3 Season 4 in the Tanso Racing Group. And this week we're in Brazil at the wonderful Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, otherwise known as Interlagos. So looking forward to a great race here. Lovely, tricky track and well used in the F1 calendar too. So let's go and see how the guys line up on the grid. So here we have the lineup for the start of round 5 after qualifying. John McLuhan in first place from Harry Hartley-Price. Tim Reed's in third. Simon Cheshire in fourth. Rob Sutherland is in fifth. Brian Hunter is in sixth with Baz Cutting in seventh. Peter Duke is in eighth place, and we have Adrian Hadfield in ninth. Jordan Hadfield leads up the AMS in 10th. Craig Corish in 11th. Mark Vero is in 12th. We have Sean Clark in 13th. Newcomer James Hilliarich is in 14th, and Barry Evans 15th. And Scott Kostrick didn't put a time in, he's in 16th. Right, the guys are ready to roll. Let's catch them on the start of their warm-up lap. So here we are, engines revving up, and they're off on their warm-up lap for the start of this 45-minute race at Interlagos. The Clark St James GT3 round 5. McLuhan in the Flying Navy livery with Hartley-Price. Taking up second place, Tim Reed and Simon Cheshire as we go around the short parade lap, ready to get going. And for those of you familiar, the first corner is the centre S, the end of the start-finish straight down the hill. Usually one known for its troubles in virtual and real life racing alike. And we come towards the start finish line. See the entries and the pits there on the left as the pace car's in. And it's now down to McLuhan to take him to the start finish. And here we go. And we're a little bit of argy-bargy there already. Cleanly through for McLuhan. And it looks like, looking back, that most safely through the centre S's, if not all, which is a really good start as we come down first major corner after the centre S's. It's long sweeping left-hander. Tricky one to handle at full speed, especially on cold tyres. McLuhan is already pulling away again. Half a second on Hartley-Price, and Duke's a second and a half behind. So already lost quite a bit of ground there coming through the centre S's, and the first few corners Peter Duke, looks like Baz Cutting's tumbling down the order. Now right at the back there is Baz, and he's off on the grass. Not had a lot of luck at it the last few races, unfortunately for Baz. He makes his way back onto the track. Come round for the first time. McLuhan has it. from Hartley Price. They come up to the start finish. They're all pretty smart. Lovely sweep round there from McLuhan. Handles that really well. A bit further back there, you've got Peter Duke under pressure from Tim Reed. Simon Cheshire closely behind him, and Rob Sutherland in 5th. Trying to put them under pressure as well. Bit of a battle going on there. We're going to skip to Jordan Hadfield though, who leads up the AMS. And he's got 3 pros in between him and Sean Clark in 2nd for the AMS. So doing really well here is Jordan Hadfield. He's holding off Craig Corish. Craig Corish comes back after some time away from the track. Very competitive driver is Craig. Now further up, Tim Reed under pressure from Simon Cheshire as they all crawl over the back of Peter Duke. So they go once again round the centre S's. All holding it together rather nicely. Good to see close fighting. You see there we're on board with Tim Reed, but Rob Sutherland flashing away there once. Sorry, I think that's Simon Cheshire flashing away there on Tim Reed. He wants him to get past Peter Duke so he can get on off after Harry Hartley Price and Sean McLuhan, who are well away from the pack now. And going to take a lot to catch them, I'm afraid. So Peter's under immense pressure here. Rob Sutherland really keeping them honest there. Tim Reed trying to go down the inside. Simon Cheshire going around the outside of Tim. And can Simon complete his move? These two have come together more than once in this series so far. And we've only been going 5 rounds. So Simon Cheshire is just very eager to put it on Reed here. I think he feels like he's being held up. Oh, Tim goes wide. We lost Tim there. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, Tim's dropped back a few there. Unfortunately, Tim lost it on his own. I think he's recovering. Hasn't gone all the way to the back. But now Simon Cheshire is going to hunt down Peter Duke on his own here. Now he hasn't got Tim Reed in the way. And try his best to get on board. Let's see what he can do. A bit further back we've got Mark Vero in 12th place. Well, he's 3rd in the AMS, being chased down by newcomer James Hillerich. And Here it's right on the back of Vero here as we come around the centre S's. Pretty good showing from the newcomer in the number 6, the blue livery. Whilst up front it looks like Peter Duke has been done by Simon Cheshire. Simon's managed to get in front and is now in third, but he's 4 seconds back from Harry Hartley-Price. So he's got a lot of ground to make up after getting held up there, and Rob Sutherland is now just as eager to get on board with Peter Duke. A glitch in the matrix there. Scott Kostrick working his way through the field. Craig Corish, it looks like he's now had some trouble and is dropping down the field. So we've had Craig Corish, Tim Reed and Baz Cutting all had issues and dropped to the back for the pros. Meanwhile, Peter Duke trying to defend and not lose another place, this time to Rob Sutherland as we come again through the centre S. Hold him off nicely there though. Right, Vero and James Hillerich is the other battle going on for third place. Well, James has now dropped back from Mark a little bit. Mark comes up onto some faster traffic. Rob Sutherland, in the meantime, is really trying to put the pressure on Peter Duke. Trying to make some headway and get past him. When you're so evenly matched, it's really hard to get that little bit of acceleration you need to get past, even on a track that is as wide as this, with many places. Right, now we're gonna let Rob get on and chase Peter Duke down. Meanwhile, further back we have a battle for first, second and third in the third, fourth and second, third and fourth in the AMS. Jordan Hadfield is further up at the moment and away, but Sean Clark here is defending heavily second place from Mark Vero. Mark himself has James Hillerich right up behind him and on his tail. So this is from James's view in the cockpit here. Very much a close fight between these three. Sean and Mark are 1 and 2 in the AMS standings as well. So a fight for them as Hillerich gets some traction coming up the hill. Not quite enough to get past up on the way up, but with that toe coming over the start-finish straight, goes for the outside. Doesn't quite finish it off, and then late on the brakes, dives down the inside. Does he manage to hold it? He does. What a great move by Hillerich. Oh, nearly executes it on Sean as well. decides to back out a little bit there. Probably good too. So a great little battle here, hotting up. Newcomer James has made his way through on Mark and now trying to look for the inside on Sean Clark. Doesn't quite get it. All the while, Mark Vero sitting there waiting to pick up the pieces. And Craig Corish from the pros is now catching these three up as they fight. All the while, Jordan's Whitehead in 7th overall, leading the amps. James Hillerich putting on a good fight here for his first time out, and again gets good traction around that last corner. You can see him just closing the gap slightly on Sean. Looks to be going to the left. Sean's defending on the left, so James goes to the right, but Sean takes track position and cuts him out. James is down the inside on the centre S. No, nothing doing there. Holding it together just enough. Battle goes on. Rob Sutherland and Scott Kostrick are through on Peter Duke, who's now dropped all the way back to 6th, leaving Rob and Scott to go chasing down Simon Cheshire. He's a good 3 seconds up the road, and Harry Hartley Price is 4 seconds up the road from Simon, and McLuhan is another nearly 2 seconds ahead of those. So the AM battle is on, with James Hillerich trying to stay on terms with Sean Clark as they come back up the final turn for the start finish. Craig Corish now getting in the mix, complicating it a little bit for Mark there, just on the back of this trio of AMs. From Craig's perspective, for the inside on Mark Vero, it's not happening. Mark may be in the AMs, but he's no slouch when it comes to racing. Craig with his timeout. Probably not at optimum just yet, but he goes out wide for dive down into this sharp hairpin in first gear. Well, he's in second. And the Ferrari, as we come up, bringing it down into first. This long sweeping left-hander. You can go off track slightly on the first bit, about half a car's width, and then that will be an off track for sure for Craig Corish there. The limits on this track have now got pretty tough, and pulling away up the hill, he's lost traction a bit, and has now dropped right off the back, whilst James Hillerich is still all over the rear of Sean Clark as these two Porsches battle it out through the centre S. James Dare tries to take the inside. Very close together here now. It's only 16 minutes gone. Been a very tight battle for these three. Mark Vero's trying to make gap back up. Trying to get onto James if he can. So he doesn't lose touch. With Sean Clark in second. James Hillerich in third. Mark Vero in fourth in the AMS. Oh. Brian Hunter and Adrian Hadfield trading place in here in 8th and 9th. There's Jordan going through. These two very close together coming into the centre S's, and Adrian gets back in front of Brian. Brian tries to stay with him on the outside. Not quite there, but it's a long way down this straight. We've got a long old train of cars now, headed up by Adrian Hadfield. Brian Hunter 4/10 behind him, but very much on his tail on and off. James Hillerich now, in the meantime, has got through on Sean Clark. So James has now made it up into second place in the AMS. Sean's lost that at some point while we were watching this battle here. But it is becoming a bit of an immense one. Train of 5 cars as Brian goes to the outside. James Hillerich is obviously getting in the mix there as well. As they come round, right, it's going to be who gets the best traction coming up the hill. And I've got to say, Brian Hunter looked really good there. Got a tight line onto the corner, and I think he has probably got a line there. Goes for the inside line. James and Sean on the outside. Sean cuts in on the inside of James. Goes a bit tighter. Adrian and Brian trading places, and James gets through on Adrian. So that gets in the way of Adrian's battle with Brian Hunter there, as James slips into that. And we've got Sean Clark up the inside of Adrian on this sweeping left-hander. He managed to hold it really well as Adrian goes wide. So we've got a mix of Pro-Ams duking it out here. Brian Hunter leading this little pack, which is providing the main entertainment. But 7 minutes up the road is Jordan Hatfield in 7th. And Adrian's just lost it on the last corner there. Just see him go off track. So he's lost that pack now. And Tim Reed joins on the back of Mark Vero. But Brian Hunter is now pulling away from James Hillerich. It's over a second, or a second there or thereabouts. As Sean Clark tries to chase James down. Quite a way back though, with the time just varying as they go through and out of the centre ice. This is still the only battle for position, realistically, as Adrian Hadfield disappears into the pits. So early pit stop, or he's picked up some damage from that off. He's in the pit exit already, so that was pretty quick. He's probably in there for damage then, rather than fuel. further up. Let's go and have a look. We've got Scott Kostrick trying to hunt down Rob Sutherland. As Rob Sutherland dives into the pits for an early pit stop there. So we'll let them get on, and the battle's back on in the AMS from second place. James Hillerich holding off Sean Clark, 8/10 behind, and Mark Vero just 4 or so tenths behind Sean there. Tim Reed in the pros holding on the back of Mark's tail. This battle's going to be one of blinks first. Mark goes a little wide there, but maintains traction. Less than half a second between each of these, including Tim Reed from the pro section hanging on the back. Just take one mistake from these guys to change this order quite significantly. They're that close, nobody can afford a mistake. And we're just over the halfway point. Mark Vero on the back of Sean Clark there. Seems to be getting closer. Is he close enough to make a move on the centre S's? He has got Tim Reed behind him as well. Mark doesn't manage to make any ground up through there. Pressure's definitely on though. Comes the sweeping left-hander. Everyone really handles that so well. Nobody's twitching yet. Oh, and there's an off. What's happened? Jordan Hatfield. Unfortunately, Jordan's lost it. Jordan's lost the lead. That puts in the AMS, so that puts James Hillerich is now elevated to first place. Sean Clark is in second, and Mark Vero is in third in the AMS here. Jordan's back on track and holding fourth. Obviously made an unforced error, and that does happen. You lose a bit of concentration in this track. Doesn't take much. So that changes things a bit. James Hillerich now in the lead in the AMS. Jordan decides to go into the pits after that off. Just to recover. I don't know whether they have damage or just decided now the time to go in for fuel. Have a relax, have a think, reset, come back out. Everyone else has got to fuel anyway. So the pit stops will be coming at some point. So Barry Evans, the guys are going around there. It's the back marker. Nice and smoothly through there with no troubles. Now Sean Clark's a second off at the back of James Hillerich. Mark Vero is now on Sean's tail. And Tim Reed, well, not in the fight. Oh, and looks like Barry's lost it there. looking for a spin. Not difficult to do. You put the power down too much or too early as you come around that corner up the hill. It will just send you spinning. Brian Hunter's in the pits, Mark Vero's in the pits, decided to get out of that fight. So these guys are going in for what will be fuel now. Battles we got on out there. Baz now trying to chase down Rob Sutherland. So Rob, we know, has pitted. And Baz is chasing him down. But assuming Baz has got to go in the pits himself at some point. So this won't be for position. I could be wrong. Let's have a look and see if we can... see when these guys are pitted. And no, Baz has not actually pitted yet. James Hillerich and Sean Clark have yet to pit, and we've got Mark Vero there. Simon Cheshire goes into the pits, as does Peter Duke. That's an early one for Simon. It's unusual. We've often seen him pit much later. So a slight change in tactic there. Come round with Rob Sutherland being chased down by Baz Cutting. As we say, Baz is yet to pit. Peter Duke is on the exit. Rob is through, Baz is through before Peter comes out. So that's Rob for position there on Peter Duke. Baz trying to get some fast laps in, I think, before he goes in for fuel. He's certainly racing like he's racing for position. And I think Mark Vero will be putting the pedal down, absolutely, as Sean Clark right up on the back of James Hillerich here. Will either of these guys be coming in? Sean taking a slightly tighter line coming up the hill to the final corner. And it is, they're in. So Sean, Tim and James all into the pits. Let's see how it works out. Well, out front, all on his top, is John McLuhan, 5.5 seconds ahead of Harry Hartley-Price. 9 seconds up on Scott Kostrick, 14 seconds back to Simon Cheshire. There'll be going to be some pit stops in there to change that around. So Mark Vero now, after those pit stops, this puts Mark actually in first place ahead of James Hillerich and Sean Clark. So good pit strategy there by Mark. goes from third to first in AMS, all due to the pit stop. Very good. And by quite some way as well, which is amazing. So McLuhan, Hartley-Price and Kostrick all into the pits. The top three into the pits. Leaves Simon Cheshire out on his own up front. What's going to be interesting now for Simon is how quick can he get round? Harry Hartley-Price is already on his way out of the pits. And you just saw McLaughlin there. And Simon comes round into second place. Well driven there, that man. So McLuhan down to a 1.5 second lead now on Simon Cheshire, leaving Hartley-Price 4 seconds back. We've just seen Hillerich lose it. He's gone. Hillerich has lost it at some point, and that leaves Mark Vero out front in the AMS. And Sean Clark a long way back, 3.5 seconds back with 13 minutes to go. So that battle now has dissipated, leaving Mark Vero, the AM leader in the standings, a good 4 seconds up on Sean Clark. Bit of no man's land there. Jordan Hatfield in third, now a long way back from the top two. Jordan Hatfield has got 3 pros in front of him, all fairly spread out. So really, it's down to Simon Cheshire. Try and give us some excitement here in the closing stages of this race. We get on terms with McLuhan. He's don't think that's going to do it, Simon. You can flash your headlights, but I think McLuhan's probably not going to take a lot of notice. I think ex-Navy pilot is probably not going to be put off by flashing headlights. It's safe to say. Can but try. Got a 1.5 seconds to try and make up. And what we don't. Whoa! Very wide there to Simon, as he really tries to make up the ground and ends up losing it actually. He's back to and lost another 4/10 there. So as we come around the start finish straight, we've got 10 minutes to go. And everyone's fairly spread out. We've got no real fights for position to talk of. There's battles between pros and AMs, but nothing actually for position that I can see out there. Big old gaps made up there on Jordan Hadfield. He's got Tim Reed on him, which is probably unhelpful for Jordan as he wants to try and make up ground, and he has made up some ground to be fair. He's about 4 seconds behind Clark, who's in second place, and he's just got Baz Cutting now between him and Clark. Tim Reed comes up the inside. Jordan is left down. Oh, not helpful there. Jordan goes out wide. Probably takes an off track for that, but rather that than lose it. So they're all within sight. It's just quite a few seconds to make up. And Craig Corish leaves the pack, departs from the track, and guys just carry on. Don't think there was anything untoward there. He's now jumped to the pits. He's gone. He's had enough and given up on that. So father and son. Here we've got Jordan and Adrian. Next to each other. Jordan not making any ground up anywhere. We've got Baz Cutting being chased down for 10th place, which is 8th in pros. Tim Reed, 9th there overall. Fairly stretched out. Just 7 minutes to go. And the leaders are a long way away. McLuhan's still got a second and a half on Cheshire with Hartley Price 6.5 seconds back. Hartley Price a bit in no man's land there because he's got another 7.5 seconds back to Scott Kostrick. Clark's not making any ground on Vero. He's got Brian Hunter in between himself and Mark. As Tim Reed here tries to chase down Baz Cutting. Trying to at least get a place back if he can. To go on board through the centre S. Here, Tim right behind him. Lovely looking McLaren. Cut away there. Let's see Tim. 3/10 just behind Baz. I think what's happening now is Clark's a lot slower than these two, and that'll be not helping Baz Cutting, probably pushing him back onto Tim Reed as these two do slightly faster lap times. Have a look at the lap times there, yeah. So we've got Sean Clark, 1:35 was last lap, compared with Baz and Tim's 1:30, so they're a whole second faster than him. Jordan Hadfield is also a second up, so it's not going to be helping Baz's cause much, being caught up. But obviously, Sean would like to have kept them in between him and Jordan, but that's not going to be the case. With 4 minutes to go now, Baz Cutting is through, and he's going to be off the road and away with Tim Reed, both being a second faster than Sean, and Sean is going to come under pressure, very much so, from Jordan now. Although Jordan, I believe, just made a slight mistake there, unfortunately, as we went to him. Very unfortunate, as he was putting in a lap time that was a second faster. Yeah, with a couple of minutes to go now, we are really strung out through the through the field. McLuhan leads it 2.5 seconds back to Cheshire and Hartley Price in third. Kostrick in fourth. Barry Evans is on his way out of the pits, or is he on his way into the pits, sorry. Must be for damage, I assume. He made a mistake with his fueling. So, a good demonstration drive by McLuhan there. Not really put under pressure by anyone throughout the whole race. Cheshire did give it his best attempt, trying to chase him down, but has now backed off, probably taking it quite easy. And Mark Viro heads up the M's and has really gapped Sean Clark and Jordan Hadfield in second and third. So I think he's safe enough there as well. Great pit strategy by Mark, which saw him go from third to first just by pitting at the right time. Fantastic bit of work there. So back on with McLuhan, the Fly Navy pilot from the States. As we come up to the start finish, what will be the final lap of the race. Very cleanly executed by McLuhan. Very dominant drive. Nobody really on terms with him. We could do with Mr. McFall back round the track. Give us a run for our money. Put the cat amongst the pigeons. But whilst he's not here, then these guys will reap the rewards. And McLuhan comes through the last hairpin down to the sweeping left-hander at the bottom of the hill. For a final time, brings it round safely up the hill and to the start finish. And here we go, McLuhan across the line. He takes the win. Very well done with Simon Cheshire. And Harry Hartley Price has caught him up there. Whilst we were admiring McLuhan. Nice little touch. But Simon and Harry. Scott comes across the line in fourth. Rob Sutherland, a little way back in fifth. Rob. Peter Duke comes across in sixth. Brian Hunter, seventh. Mark Viro, first place for the AMS in eighth overall, brings it across the line. Another win this season for Mark. Well done. Baz Cutting and Tim Reed come very closely off the line. Just under a tenth between those two. Jordan Hatfield in 11th, Sean Clark in 12th. So Jordan got past Sean there in the end. Well done to Jordan. Sean in third place. Adrian Hatfield, James Hillerich. And there we have it. Let's get over and have a look at the results, shall we? So the race results for the pros are as follows. Round 5. McLuhan is in first place from Simon Cheshire, Harry Hartley-Price in third. Then Scott Kostrick in fourth, Rob Sutherland in fifth, Peter Duke in sixth, Brian Hunter in seventh, Baz Cutting in eighth, Tim Reed in ninth, Adrian Hadfield in 10th, and Craig Corish did not finish, unfortunately. Have a look at the AMS. And in the AMS, good win there from Mark Vero. Well deserved with that tactic on the pit stop. Jordan Hatfield fought back to get second, though we actually missed that. It did nick second place from Sean Clark in third. James Hillerich, good first showing for James there. Unfortunate, was did really well. And Barry Evans back in fifth. So that's the results for Interlagos, guys. Thanks for joining us. Next week we will be at the mighty Red Bull Ring, which should be good fun for all. Do come and join us. Unfortunately, it's not the Red Bull Ring. It's Circuit de Villeneuve. I do apologise. We're in Canada. So come and join us in Canada next week for Circuit Villeneuve. A bit of wall banging going on. Should be enjoyable. And if you want to come and join us, there's still time. TansoRacingGroup.co.uk. Come and join the league. The more the merrier. And you might not be able to win it, but you could certainly join in. Thanks for watching. See you next time.